Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I talk about anything and everything that catches our interest or ire. Normally we stream live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Pacific time, Eastern time, but today we're streaming.
So close.
Today we're streaming on Monday. Because family stuff came up for some of us, and we just kind of roll with those punches, and we're making it up tonight with a awesome show. And I'd like to kind of lead off with some additional information here. Let's see. We normally stream every Sunday. I covered that. Okay. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, we'll be answering questions from comments from last week's episode. We'll be responding to super chats at the end of the show. Baku, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Long weekend for me because I work for the federal government and today's a federal holiday in the United States. So yeah, I got, oh my God, Derek shaved.
Yeah, I did.
I am not used to this. Oh my God, that baby face. Hello. It's just like, what happened?
You didn't even notice like the whole time we were like doing show prep?
No, I was not like staring at you because I need to get into the mindset.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So, but now I'm like, whoa, okay, I just see this.
All right. Well, hold on. Because before we go too far off the rails, there's something I have to apologize for, everybody. All right. So here's the thing, guys. Sometimes I do things that I'm not super proud of. And I just want to address the elephant in the room. Today I was running late. I was behind on time, and I went for the laziest thumbnail clickbait I could possibly think of, and I threw a red arrow right into the thumbnail, and I apologize. I would tell you that it will never happen again, but I can't back that up. It might happen again, but anyways. The top headline, though, that I did want to mention, though, is that Square Enix have put out a statement about Chrono Cross, and it's very exciting information. I'm going to look into this. We're going to talk about it a little bit later on. Getting back to you, Baku, what have you been up to, man?
I am just finishing up what is it called? Ida Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiatives. A couple of you have come by to say hello in my Twitch stream. Thank you so much for coming by to hang out. But also, I know
you were really excited for that game.
Yeah, no, it's actually really great. Like, I love the first game, and as I'm playing the second game, like through the first half, I'm like, this is a little underwhelming compared to the first game. But then, like, at some point there's this crazy twist, and then you're just like, okay, now it makes sense why the first half was the way that it was. And everything makes sense.
Oh man.
I mean, the story makes sense, structurally it makes sense. Everything just like
it's just a slow
clicks.
burn.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and then you go back and you appreciate the beginning, why it was written a certain way. So you just have to like get through like the first half. It will make sense. You will have that eureka moment, and when you do, you're like, oh wow, I can't believe, wow, okay.
That's really interesting. This is one of those reasons why I almost always try to finish a game before I can say that I've done a full review. I imagine that my experience, if I did like an experience points video of that, just where I played like the first 5 hours of it, I don't know how long the game is, but like if I didn't get to that plot twist before, or that turn in the story where things just clicked, if I didn't make it that far, my impressions of the video would be wildly inaccurate, it sounds like, huh?
Yeah, and that's the hard part about doing these like game reviews. Like, for anyone who's done any kind of content creation would know, Derek knows, it's just rough. Like, this is a really tough schedule. You got all these games, people are like, come on, when are you gonna tell me about how this is?
Oh god.
Yeah, you play roughly 5 hours of the game, you spend another 5 hours editing the video, you push it out, and then that's it. That's your first couple hours. So take it with a grain of salt. Like, with all the previews, it's like, hey, up to that point, this is how I feel, right?
Yeah.
It could change. Yeah. But anyways, it's a great game. I highly recommend it for anyone who would be interested in playing Ida Somnium Files, anyone who's interested in sci-fi murder mystery. It is actually on sale on Steam right now for like $8. It's the first game. $8. Yeah.
Okay.
It is a steal. It is a steal. Second game, I think it's like $30, which is still pretty good.
Mhm.
So highly recommended. So come by, hang out. Bakusan JRPG slash Twitch, sorry, twitch.com .tv slash Bakusan JRPG.
Links are in the description down below.
Down below. Yeah. What about you,
So,
Derek? What you been up to?
in my world, I've been playing through the tail end of Trails of Cold Steel 2. We are past the finale. We are past the divertisement. We are now in the epilogue, and
Hmm.
it is a very long epilogue, so I've heard. So I might have it finished by the end of the week. I'm hoping.
Wow.
Yeah, I've just been
Wow.
blazing through it. Over 100 hours into the game so far. It is, it's really fun. It's really fun. And then I've been trying to just bust my butt on fixing, putting out a couple of things. One,
Hmm.
my review of Golden Sun. It's out. Well, not
Hmm.
not out. It's in pre. It's out for all of the supporters of the show, all of the channel members, and everybody on YouTube and the Twitch subscribers. They have early access to it right now, which is really cool. Um,
Okay.
Reactions seem to be pretty positive so far, which
Yes.
is excellent. So that's going to be coming out here probably on Friday. But
Hmm.
then I've also been trying to work on this bigger video project that's going to come out in March. And that is part of why I shaved my face. But I'm not going to,
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh, wow. Okay.
a little bit of
Hmm.
extra dress, little fancier stuff going on. Not gonna, not gonna spoil it for everybody.
I'll
Spoilers,
look
man.
forward to that.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. But hey, let's go ahead and start talking about some of these comments that we got last week on our last episode of Hit Point.
Heck yeah, let's go. All right, I picked this one from Johnny.
Mm,
We said I think a lot of people struggle to pick up Xenoblade at the first time. With me, it was the same. Luckily, you get more skills to use over time, and need to time your attacks more while positioning your characters, which makes gameplay fun eventually.
hmm.
Also, the world opens up, like the story gets more heated. Xenoblade 1 especially is a true adventure. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
your comment, Johnny. And yes, I've heard that many times from people. I've experienced it personally, and I
Hmm.
and I do agree that that's basically how Xenoblade went for me.
Yeah.
You start
I've been told that I dropped it right before it gets good.
a darn shame,
Right,
right?
right when the mascot character joined the party, it wasn't because he joined, but it was right around that time that I was just kind of like, you
Eh.
know, I'm lost in this rainy, swampy area. I got this weird character in my party now. I don't even know what to do. I'm getting out.
He grows on you. He grows on you. You get to hear all like the wonderful things that he does, like from other characters that he doesn't
Yeah.
ever talk about, and you're just like, wow, you are a good dude. Yeah. So especially so in the there's like an after story kind of deal where
Hmm.
you get to party with um his kids,
Yeah.
and his kids will like sort of backfill you with some of the things about that character. And then you're just like, wow, he's been this like crazy good dude this entire time, and
Hmm.
like your heart just warms up a little bit. It's a really well written story,
Oh,
Xenoblade 1 and
okay.
2.
Well, I'll have
All
to give it
jokes
another
aside,
shot at some point. It's probably going to be a while though.
yeah.
If I'm being honest with myself.
And to a lot of people who are here, who are Trails fans, I'd probably say the same thing. Like Trails 1, like it takes a little time to kick up.
Oh
And
yeah.
so you know how much of a shame it is when you see people like give up before like it gets good. That's how
Yeah.
we feel about Xenoblade. So
Yeah.
just to put a comparison between the two.
Well, I'm older and
Yeah.
wiser and maybe broader horizons now. Maybe next time I try my hand at it, I'll be successful.
Yeah, I hope you like it. I mean,
Uh,
there's a chance you might still not like it, but hey, at least you tried. That's all we
yeah.
ask for. Yeah.
The next comment we got here is from Tizzy Ragamovs, who says, after beating Chained Echoes and the wanting to fill the void of wanting something more, I gotta say that Sea of Stars looks amazing, and I can't wait for it. The demo was great as well. I hope the pixel graphic RPGs like this become the big thing of the future because I love this style. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It was. I think they hit the perfect balance of like it almost looks 16-bit, but way the sprites are way bigger than the Super
Mhm.
Nintendo could handle. So it's kind of like this it's like they took the best of what the uh the 2D that the PlayStation could do and like just,
Mhm.
we're aiming for that, I feel like. And it just looks so nice.
Yeah, it looked incredible, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I don't know when I will get my hands on it. Sometimes during wait, I know that's Chained Echo. Chained Echo is coming during the summer. I
No,
don't
no,
know
no.
when
Chain
I'll
Echoes
get
is
Sea of
out. Sea of
Stars.
Stars will come out later.
No,
Sea of
well,
Stars
I got
comes
the
out
hard
in August
copy.
29th. Oh,
I got
oh,
the
the
I got a
hard
hard
copy. Yeah.
copy. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm not buying the digital again once I already spent the money getting the hard copy and the limited edition, no less, right? So I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, collector's edition is coming during the summer. I'll get it my hands on it then. I know it's out on digital, but I'm not playing it until I get my darn copy. Sea of Stars, I don't know when that's happening either, but I can't wait. There's just so many wonderful games, and
you
it's
know,
nice to see indie developers just like kicking butt.
yeah. The
You
brilliant
know,
thing about this is that it's taking you so long to play this is that by the time you do get to it and you can play it, the people who were avoiding spoilers will not avoid your streams now. They can come and hang out with you and they can.
you say that, but like for example, like I'm playing Ida Somnium Files,
Yeah.
right? People are
Uh-huh.
still avoiding the stream because like, oh no, I can't watch the spoilers. I'm like, man, this game's been out for like a year, man.
I mean,
Come
to be
on.
fair, I'm seeing those messages come through as well for Trails of Cold Steel 2 also. And it's like I get it. Yeah, because you don't want spoilers,
Hmm.
but I appreciate the people who do drop by and
Yeah.
just say, "Hey,
Yeah,
it's nice."
it's
Um,
true. I do appreciate that. All
all right.
right. The next one is something that I kind of wanted to address. It's been a little bit, but I think this is a good time to talk about it. And this is
Mhm.
actually not a comment from any particular viewer in the past, but just many of you have said something along the lines of, "Hey, you guys missed covering ABC game." Just want to quickly address that. Number one, do appreciate that you guys like notice and watch the thing and be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, maybe you have missed this." And there has been time when we have missed a game or two. Um, Probably like actually a game or two in the past year. But a lot of the times, actually, we don't cover certain things for a couple of reasons. Either A, we're at capacity, which happened a last show. There were
Yeah.
just way too many things. Like the
Baku was
whole
actually cutting items from the stream as we were going because
I'm like,
not
nope,
because
nope, 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 nope.
I know you were hitting a bit of a brick wall at the end of the show, I think, and
Yeah,
so was I. We were pretty tired that day for whatever
yeah,
reason, so it kind of made
yeah.
sense to cut a couple things, especially because of number two. The other reason you were going to say,
Mhm. Which is oh, I thought you were reading my mind.
no, no, no. I was a, I
I
was
was like,
it was a
"Go on,
segue into
Derek."
your next portion, which you said was
Yeah, and well, the other point is that it's I mean, it's either it's an editorial decision or honestly, there just aren't that much information.
yeah,
So like they'll be like, "Oh, we have a new trailer." Like for example, Octopath 2, they came up with these like character trailers, like
hmm
maybe like once every week.
my
Yeah, I'm
God,
not covering
no,
this like once
I
a week just
know,
because they had like a character trailer, right? So it's like
yeah,
not substantial enough to, do a coverage on,
yeah.
right?
Separating the
So,
wheat from the chaff, the wheat from the chaff rather,
mhm,
is
yeah.
so difficult because it's like unless you have a list of things that you've already talked about or what you talked about when you talked about them, it is so easy to accidentally start repeating yourself or
Mhm.
to start talking about. The other option is every time Octopath Traveler puts out a character trailer that's 30 30 to 120 seconds long, do you talk about it?
Yep.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time when I was making the JRPG Weekly update. I did it weekly and it drove me
Right?
bonkers.
Right? Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you have to make some judgment calls. Like,
Yeah.
is it enough? Like,
Does it
you
does it
see me
pass
sitting there
the
typing, I'm
threshold,
like,
right? Yeah.
yeah, that's the threshold. Yeah, and it's not like there's a line somewhere. Like you gotta have it's more of an art than a science.
Yeah.
The last thing that I would say is there's even a chance that we had already covered a game.
That's
So
the other thing.
please, yeah, please watch our previous shows
All of
because
them.
this
Watch
yeah,
every
all of
one of
them.
them. All
This
all
is
all 50 of our 2 hour RPG news episodes just to
Yeah,
find out if no, I'm just
do
kidding.
it.
Just kidding.
It's like, did you talk about this? I'm gonna make sure we haven't talked about it at all, right? Like, watch
there's
all the shows.
I mean, no, that's all right. But I mean, but
Um,
seriously, it's not really that you don't have to go back and watch those, but just keep
yeah,
that in
no,
mind the next time you're like, hey, did you guys talk about this?
yeah,
Because
no. I
there's a
still
very good
appreciate
chance
it
we did
though.
actually, just not
Yeah.
in the episode you listened to.
Yeah, I still appreciate you coming to watch and interact with us. So this is not like a hate thing or that we're like getting annoyed.
Baku,
It's
why do you hate
just
America?
wow.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
But moving
but we
on.
do want to we do want to make sure that y'all are aware that we take great care in selecting the items. All right.
All right. We have a voicemail here also to play. This is one of the lucky dip voicemails from the last several months of not checking the email. So
we're more
yeah.
likely to miss your voicemail than we are to miss the game.
Hey guys, I love the show and I want to ask you about if you want to enter a new franchise. Usually, do you start by the release order or by the recommended order? I want to play Breath of Fire, but I'm not sure if I should start by Breath of Fire 1 or if I should start by Breath of Fire 3. That's the one that I saw some people recommending me to do. So, do you usually play the games in the release order or do you play them in the recommended order that some fans or the community recommend?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
You first, me first. What do you want?
I had time to think about this and I've got pretty strong thoughts on it as well. So
Okay.
I guess I'll just throw this out there. First for Breath of Fire, I think it kind of doesn't really matter what order you play them in because they're not interconnected. If you want to play them all, if that is like a goal, you may as well play them in order because then you'll enjoy the quality of life improvements each step of the way and follow the evolution of the series. But if you really only like are interested in playing the RPG greats, just go ahead and skip ahead to Breath of Fire 3. Or Breath of Fire 2. Some people really like Breath of Fire 2, but if you're going to play Breath of Fire 2, be sure to use the fan retranslation hack that is so good. And so as a general rule of thumb, that's what I will say is if the stories are not interconnected, then play order is really kind of arbitrary, right? So if they're not interconnected, then the play order that I guess the general fan base might recommend, probably not a bad idea. If that'll help you, yeah, I would have no qualms with it. Now, I would say though that there's other games out there that don't fit that criteria. I think probably the most notorious series that I can think of right now is about to have like its ninth, 10th game released in the series, and that's the Trails series, released in the West, that is. I am currently playing entry number 7 in the series.
Right.
And there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of discussion about where do you start the Trails series, because it's kind of a big thing because they are all interconnected. So I'm probably going to make a whole video talking about the Trail series specifically. But suffice it to say, TLDW is just play in whatever order gets you playing, honestly, because the main thing is if you want to play the games, start somewhere.
Yeah.
The Trail series has a few possible starting points. I don't think you could necessarily go terrible as long as you pick like the first entry in
to the arc, right?
In an arc. Yeah, exactly. So like don't start with like Trails of Cold Steel 2. That would be weird. And you're weird for thinking about doing that. Maybe don't
start with Cold Steel 3, then we're gonna go to Cold Steel 1, then we're gonna go to Sky and then come back to Cold Steel 2.
Yeah. Like just pick up at the beginning of an arc somewhere. And Hajimari no Kiseki or Trails into Reverie probably also not going to be a super great entry point. So I would say Trails in the Sky FC, Trails of Cold Steel 1, or Trails from Zero. Those are 3 decent jumping in points. Figure one out, whichever one appeals to you, and because if playing through all of them is going to keep you from like playing the one that you want to get to. Like if it's just too overwhelming, then screw it. Just play whatever you want. Don't let other people decide for you. You know.
Yeah, no, I think I largely agree with Derek. Actually, not largely, completely agree with Derek. I think in general there are three kinds of series that you can
Mhm.
think of. The first kind would be I'll give you an example. The first kind would be non-related Final Fantasy. In that case, play whichever game appeals to you. It literally does not matter.
Yeah.
Like you can play Final Fantasy X and then jump to Final Fantasy VI because you want to play an SNES, and then go to Final Fantasy 15 because you just hate life, and then go to Final Fantasy 14 because suddenly you want to play an MMO. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. They're all so self-contained that the release order doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
guessing you.
in
Yeah.
fact, there's an argument to be said
Mhm.
that if you want to get into a series that's not interconnected, play the worst ones first. Suikoden 4 was my introduction to Suikoden,
Mhm.
you know, back on the PS2, and I got a soft spot for it. I've got nostalgia for it. And then everybody
Oh.
is like, "Oh no, Suikoden 4 is the worst." I'm like, "It's fine. It's fine as long as it's a good series." The worst game the worst game in a great series is
Mhm.
still fine.
Yeah, I can't say the same for my example with Persona. Persona
Oh
is
yeah.
my example that's kind of like your Suikoden. Like I jumped in with 3, it was the worst, and it's still the worst. I can't Persona 3.
I
Persona
disagree.
4 was so much better. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, but
I, I,
Persona 4 got so much better. But
I'll just say Persona 1 was probably the worst.
oh no, I'm not even doing 1 and
I know.
2. That's just we're not doing that.
But 2 is really good.
Oh
2
yeah,
the duology of 2,
Eternal.
Innocent Sin and then Eternal
Oh, Eternal.
Punishment. It's so good. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the other one that I can think of would be like you said, like Trails, which is chronological,
Mhm.
and the release order is also chronological. I think that's just kind of a no brainer.
Yeah.
Like if you
Kind of makes
want,
sense.
if you care about
If you can
story
do it.
more,
Yeah.
yeah,
If you're not
it,
daunted by playing through 10
mhm,
games, you know, if
yeah,
you
go with the first one.
yeah,
Like
for
if you
sure.
want story, like absolutely story comes first for you. But if you don't really care, like, or you don't care as much, do what Derek says. Pick the first one at the arc and go there.
Yep.
The last kind, though, this one is the tough one. The most notorious game I can think of that people debate about, like which one to start, is actually East.
That is actually one of the ones that
Yeah.
this guy mentioned. He left us a voicemail that was like 90 seconds long. I had
Oh
to cut it
yeah.
down a little bit, but
Yeah.
East
East
was one of
is
them.
the most notorious one because the release order, so like 1 through 10,
Mhm.
are not in chronological order. And then there are remakes and prequels
Yep.
that talks about the story, and you're just like, how do you navigate through that?
What is it with Falcom and making chronologically confusing games, huh?
Well, I mean, Trails isn't that
I don't
bad,
know.
right? I
It's not
mean, it's pretty
confusing, but
straightforward. Yeah.
it's still just difficult to choose a jumping in point, though.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not sure what's going on with Falcon, but yeah, and it's so for ease or things like ease.
Hmm.
I can't think of another example right now, but something like ease, that's connected, but then like it's kind of jumping all over the place. Um, I my personal preference is play with the start with the worst like play style, and then just like gradually grow more technologically
Hmm.
advanced, if you will.
Yeah, playing
Because yeah,
almost as if it's like an order of release.
yeah,
Generally,
order of play style maybe
okay.
better.
Like
Yeah, order
do
of
all the
play style.
bump style
Yeah,
mechanic
do
stuff
all the
first,
bump
and then
mechanics, which is like 2 games,
yeah.
and then play Origin because it deals with the first 2 games, and so
Okay.
you don't forget people, and then the rest. Yeah. So thank you
Well,
so much for calling in.
yeah,
That was a great topic.
yeah. Fun question. All right, so I guess we have some updates to talk about here, real quick.
Yes.
So let me make sure that my
Did we
section.
give people the number to call us?
Oh, you're right. I
Yes.
should mention that. Okay,
Yes.
so yeah, if you would like to leave us a voicemail, please leave us a voicemail at 785-337-3805. and we'll play it on the air at some point. We got a little bit of backlog to go through, but we will definitely listen to it. So send us a voicemail there, or you can send it to us at HitPoint at superdarkrpgs.com if you want to avoid the international charges and all that.
Heck yeah.
So now let's see. There we go. Updates and DLCs. So this one is going to be kind of interesting. And this is our top headline. You know, the reason I included the thumbnail, sure, it was kind of a lazy thumbnail. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, jeez. Okay, but seriously. So Chrono Cross. Square Enix have announced that a new update for Chrono Cross for the Radical Dreamers edition is coming in late February. I figure we could just look at this on my screen here real quick. Okay, so this is it. He says, "Hello, everyone. This is the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition development team." They said, following the launch of the game last year, we're planning on a release update this month. The update includes a wide range of changes, such as frame rate improvements, changes to the growth system for Pip. So that's actually a super interesting, and fixes for other bugs. I'm going to talk about that one with Pip here in a minute.
Yes.
Thank you so much for all of your thoughts and feedback on Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. Have you discovered all the secrets that the original director Masato Kato added to this remaster? What? And then we hope you downloaded the update and that you continue to enjoy the game into the future. Thank you for, continuing support of the Radical Dreamers Edition stuff. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that is super interesting. Because the first thing is the frame rate. While I would say that it wasn't any worse than the original PlayStation was, like, sure, it had frame rate issues, and it's a little it feels weird that it's like maybe it should have been 60 FPS and it was dipping down into like, down as low as like 20, 15 FPS at times. It was kind of rough, right? But here's the thing. They also didn't have the source code to work with when they remade this. They kind of had to backwards engineer a fix for a lot of things. They had to in order to upscale a lot of the textures, to increase the polygon counts of a lot of the characters that they did. They had to do a lot of work already. And the fact that they kind of hacked it to do that is pretty dang impressive. Now, granted, it should probably run greater than 60 FPS, but it ran as good I would say it ran at about an authentic frame rate on the Switch, because the original PlayStation that did not run it at 60 FPS nor 30. It was they honestly, there are some scenes within the Radical Dreamers Edition that ran at a slightly higher frame rate than PlayStation, and there were some parts where it ran at a slightly lower, but it all kind of evens out. But the fact that they're going to be making some frame rate improvements to this, though, I'm curious about what those frame rate improvements will look like. How optimized is this going to be? It took them almost a year. It took them almost a year to put this out. I don't know, when did Radical Dreamers Edition come out last year?
Oh my god,
it's been a while.
It's been a while. I honestly don't remember.
It's been so long that's the version I played, and I put out my review of it for Chrono Cross, and that was months ago. So it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
So that's exciting that they're going to be doing this. Then they're fixing something that was up with Pip's. Pip was a character in Chrono Cross who has this bugged stat system, basically, where basically no matter what you do, they are super weak. Makes them pretty much unusable. But that was a bug that was from the original PlayStation version. Looks like they're actually going back to fix this, though. Like they're that's what they're looking like they're gonna do, is they're gonna fix it. They're fixing the stuff that was already originally broken in the game. So that's pretty cool. Team, this is exciting to me. So it really looks like, for all the really angry fans out there when it was released, similar to Chrono Trigger, it looks like this one might end up being the definitive way to play the game after all. I mean, it kind of already was, because like I said, it has improvements in other ways, widescreen support, extra features. and it ran about as good as the PlayStation version. So it was already kind of the definitive way. But now, unequivocally, depending on the amount of improvement here, this is going to be fantastic. So that's what I'm really excited to talk about today, as far as this is concerned. And then this also has me a little bit curious. The thing that about the secrets that Masato Kato kind of
Yes.
snuck in there.
Yes.
I mean, I wonder if they're talking about. Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but there's, well, there. I'm just not going to talk about it, I guess, because I don't know how many people here have played or who will play Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition. But there's some stuff that's been added that's pretty well known, and it's a little underwhelming, to be totally honest. The stuff that I know about, that I have seen and experienced, but otherwise, yeah, I'm curious to see if there's more that was included in this that I did not know about. So I don't know.
Yeah, they had to add this like little message
Yeah,
in the very end. Just
It's like-
did you find all of them though? Have you
it
discovered?
makes me wonder
anything?
if they're teasing us because they feel like fans haven't been looking for the changes that Kato did.
Oh, we haven't found everything yet.
I know. Imagine if there was even more going on here.
Well,
I mean, that would be
so-
great. I would be very happy because, like I said, all the changes I know of, besides the music and something else that I'm not going to talk about, was a little underwhelming.
Yeah. So some time ago, Yoko Taro sent out a tweet or something to the effect that said like, "Oh, by the way, you guys haven't found all the secrets yet in NieR."
Yeah.
And then everyone went into like a frenzy looking for like, there's got to be something else. And they eventually found it, but it took years after the
Wow.
release.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, someone eventually found it, but not without like dedicated looking. On Reddit, they're just sharing like, we tried this, did that, couldn't find anything, and boom, someone found it. Who knows? Maybe there is still something on Chrono Cross that no one's discovered yet, and they're just like, to our knowledge, no one has discovered yet.
That'd be
Yeah,
interesting.
so-
They haven't gone out quite as far as to say that as blatantly, but well, I guess we'll see.
I wish it's true. I'd be
know.
interested.
The hunt for the Easter egg continues. Okay,
Yes.
so let's go ahead and move on to some updates that are coming out, or not updates, but some games that are coming out this week.
Yes. Heck yeah. Okay. So
Here's a little one. I've never heard of this. Have you heard of these guys before, Baku?
Well, maybe just like one of them, but
Okay.
okay. So I'm excited about this one because I'm a fan. So the latest in the series of Yakuza, now Like a Dragon, just reminding everyone that they are moving away from the Yakuza game
that's
name.
right.
Remix is Like a Dragon Ishin. This is the remake of the previously Japan exclusive Ryuga Gotoku Ishin on PlayStation 4, which also marks the first time that the studio is remaking the game that they had released on PS4, giving some fans the hope that maybe the studio will remake some other games, some other older games that they had also previously released on PSP and PS3. In fact, they had asked the studio director whether or not they may be interested in doing that. And we've talked about this before too. And their response was simply that they want to use this one as kind of a test bed to test their theory that fans do in fact want remakes of the older games. For now, they're going to be focused in the foreseeable future. They're going to be focused on basically Like a Dragon 8. They'll focus on the side story with Kiryu. So like basically like current stuff, new items. But if Ishin proves to be successful, and so far the reviews I've seen are pretty glowing, which is pretty good stuff. They may very well, go back and remix some of the older titles from PSP and PS3 era. So we'll just have to wait and see. We do have a new trailer to show you all, so we can be refreshed on exactly what Like a Dragon Ishin is about. So let's take a look.
Alrighty.
Oh, jeez, that was loud.
I know. My bad.
No, it's okay. My
Oh,
watch
man.
together was really loud. It startled me.
Mine was really loud too. That's okay.
Yeah. Yes, in case anyone's wondering, there is no English dub for this game. They are speaking in full Japanese in feudal Japan.
Speaking Japanese in Japan,
Feudal
unplayable.
Japan. What? Impossible. So yeah, so you play as this main character who looks like Kiryu, but he's not Kiryu. His name is Doma. He's like a historical character in that era. So it just shows you how his story begun, where
But
like
he looks like
was.
Kiryu.
He looks like Kiryu, yeah. He's with his adopted father. He was murdered, and then the guard rushed in, and he got framed, so that he had to run away to try to find the actual killer. So that they're kind of going over like the, here's the famous sumo.
Were they gonna fight
bath
in
scene.
a?
They
were
are.
gonna fight in the bath scene.
They will.
Gotta watch out.
I played the original. It was in there, and it was glorious. there might be a lot of grappling,
In the
muscular
bath?
men grappling. Some people are into that. My viewers got really excited.
I see.
We made a couple of clips.
All right.
Yeah, no, the story looks very compelling. The gameplay looks really fun. They added a lot of new elements to it, a lot of new mini games that they've taken since like the original game's release. They've added some new features. Too many to really go over. They added so much stuff to this that I can't even go over all the
Yeah.
items.
It's almost like a brand new game, just with a borrowed storyline, right?
Really. Yeah. So as I mentioned before, in Japan, this is known as the Ryuga Gotoku Ishin Kiwami. The Kiwami moniker, for anyone who's in the series, denotes like a complete remake.
Okay.
So not a remaster, but a remake. Now, I guess it is worth mentioning a little bit that they're actually including VTubers in there now. So that was kind of interesting. American VTuber, no less. Not a Japanese one. Yeah. So there's a group called V Shoujo, which is kind of like the biggest VTuber agency in the States.
Yeah.
And they actually have like a guest character in there. I think her name is Natasha Nanners. Yes. And wouldn't you know it, she's a cat girl.
Of course.
Yeah, no,
I
but
knew
she's
it when
huge.
you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard. Have you ever heard of this VTuber named Iron Mouse?
Nope.
Like millions and I think she has the most. She broke some records on Twitch at some time ago. I think like the most sub ever or something. Like
Wow.
yeah, no, like big
Rolling in the
deal.
dough.
Yeah, like you've ever heard of like Valkyrie, Pokemon, like
Yeah.
Iron Mouse is up there. So she is actually in this agency, Bishojo. And Nanner's like another really big name VTuber also in that agency. So big enough to get a what is it called? Collaboration in here. So this game will be released tomorrow. Best Buy is sending me my copies. I'm looking forward to it. On
Are you sure you're
PS4,
gonna get it, or are they
PS5.
gonna cancel it on you?
Oh geez, yeah. No, it's coming in the mail, so
Okay,
it better be here. Yeah, so PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, and PC tomorrow. So yes, I will be very busy. I am actually debating whether or not I want to put One Piece Odyssey on hold and play this instead. I don't know. I'm like, oh guys, I'm gonna play One Piece Odyssey after this. I don't know anymore. I'm sorry, One Piece. I'm a bigger like a Dragon fan than I'm a One Piece fan. So,
That's understandable.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. You know,
Right? I have a limited amount of time.
Yep. All right. So moving along, we have a little bit of news here about Digimon World Next Order. So this is coming out on the Switch and on PC on the 22nd here. So just a couple days away yet. This 2016 Vita game will be coming with a brand new beginner mode for these ports. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yes. Just really quick reminders. All right. This one's slightly longer. So this game actually first got announced back in December of last year. It is the new strategy RPG from Binary Haze.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yes, this one. And this one's called Redemption Reapers, and it's just coming in a few days. They released a final trailer 3 days ago, so I don't think we've shown this on HitPoint. I mean, unless Yeah, no, I don't think they've shown this.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Okay, let's
They
pull
released
it up
it 3 days ago. I don't know.
here. I mean, we could be time travelers. You never know.
So this is supposed to be a very emotional trailer that really gives you the backstory and just like really sells you the game. The piano music's getting to me.
The violin, pretty.
Oh, the
sad.
violin. Sorry, yeah. And
I mean, it's
piano.
both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Oh yeah. No, we gotta
Yep, we gotta keep
lower
talking.
that volume.
Yep.
Yep.
Lyrics.
Copyright.
Uh-oh.
No.
okay. Here,
John,
we'll just. Okay, I'm got it. We're good.
we're trying to advertise your game there, Binary Haze, please.
No, I don't think they hit us last time with it, but still,
Yeah.
we do get hit from time to
Good
time.
guys, Binary Haze. Yeah. So
That's some good looking visuals, though. I'll say
yeah, for a game that got announced like 2 months ago, they're like, oh, by the way, it's coming out now. It's like what?
for a game by an unknown developer. I mean, like we
Yeah,
know the
relatively
developers in them, but I mean, this is a brand new
relatively
company.
unknown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny thing is, I looked into them because I
Yeah.
said I would.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'll tell you my discovery after this, but let's look at the game for now.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me. Yeah. So the backstory to the game again is that these guys, I think they're known as the Ashen Wolves, and they are kind of like assassins in the battlefield.
Yeah.
So
they're
would
the cleaners. They go and mop up sticky situations and stuff, right?
no, they would ambush whole armies and take them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they're kind of, and now that the war is over, they're living the life of like redemption, I guess. Like they
Yeah. They're
you know,
looking
they
to turn
did what
over
they
a
had
new
to
leaf.
do, but
They're
that
done
doesn't mean that
killing.
they feel justified in doing what they did. So, yeah, they're on the road to redemption in a kind of way. So Reapers obviously refers to their role during the war. Like
Yeah.
they literally just come in and just murder whole armies. So yeah, so it's an interesting viewpoint, because a lot of times the games that we play are like usually during conflicts, but seldom do we see games that happens like after conflicts. What happens? Like
Yeah.
you know, there's certain animes that are pretty cool like that. Like for example, like what happens after you defeat the demon lord? What
Yeah.
do you do? What happens? What happens after the war is over? Like, is it truly peaceful? Like, what do you do? Like, so I think these are pretty interesting, you know, time frame to explore, because as you can see, conflict doesn't truly ever stop.
Mm-hmm.
So
In other words, war never changes.
it looks beautiful. The game looks amazing.
And that is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I just want to see what the gameplay looks like outside of combat.
I can't wait.
That's the real big question mark for me. Is there such a thing as outside of combat gameplay? Or
I
is
would
it,
like to see it. Yeah.
or is it just a series of scenarios like, you know, Tactics or something? Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Tactics.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, High Responsibly, I really think it's going to be more like Tactics, because that's just the easier system to build. And considering that they are lower budget, I don't imagine anything too crazy. But you never know.
Yeah.
They can always surprise us. But I would say keep your I don't mean
Expectations
you. I
in
mean
check,
like
for sure.
everyone. Yeah, keep our expectation, you know, reasonable. I mean, we're hyping this a little bit, but it's only because they're such a small developer that it looks great for a small developer.
And also
yeah.
because it just looks cool anyway.
They don't expect like AAA budget, you know, dealing. So
Yeah.
this game is coming out on the 23rd. So again, I'm just reading chat right now. Just remind everyone, all the games we're talking about right now are games coming out within this week, before the next show, basically. We just give you a recap, remind you the games that are coming this week, some things for you to look forward to as you start the week.
Mhm.
This is coming on the 23rd on PS4, Switch, and PC. So yeah, I mean, you'll have your answer, dude, in like 2 days.
So what were you gonna tell us? You mentioned that you dug up something about Binary Haze. What is this?
Okay, so it's not so much I dug up something about Binary Haze, or more like I attempted to dig things up on Binary Haze, and it's interesting. So
Mhm.
I was looking around for information on Binary Haze because, like, remember last time I was saying like they might be some kind of like an offshoot from a larger company.
Right.
I still feel like that may be the case. So here's the peculiar thing about this. Okay,
Mhm.
Binary Haze is headed by a person named Hiroyuki Kobayashi. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Hiroyuki Kobayashi is not the same person, because if you type that in right now,
Yeah.
you'll find the former Capcom producer, like longtime veteran producer, also by the same name, Hiroyuki Kobayashi.
Sure.
But they're written differently in kanji. So
Oh.
they're not the same name. They're only the same name in romanized like
Yeah.
letters,
Romanji. Yep.
but it's not the same person. Maybe we don't know, because here's the
That would be a
weird
pretty
thing.
funny pseudonym, wouldn't it? To like a
No,
pen name.
it would be. It would be. No, because the crazy thing is,
Mhm.
this person is the CEO of a company, and I cannot find any information about this person. No
Huh.
past works. Like, you would imagine that the CEO of this, new publishing company would have some past works in some other games in some
Yeah.
capacity. Nothing. I've looked into Japanese name. I've searched the English. I've searched any way that I could. Nothing comes up for this person other than a couple interviews with like talking about Ender Lilies and talking about this game,
Mhm.
but no previous works. Okay, and again, if anyone is digging it up right now, they're like, oh, it's the former Capcom producer. Again, not the same name, not that guy, potentially,
Yeah.
unless it is like you said, like it actually is him. He's just using like a different,
pen
like
name.
a pen name of sort, right?
Yeah. A
Which
code
would
name.
be actually believable, because this company, along with AdGlobe, which is actually the developer working with them,
Yeah.
so they're not just a publisher.
Mhm.
Like, the CEO actually is directly involved with the development of the game in this
Yeah.
case. So it's not like a Square Enix thing where like, oh, I'm just giving you money, you're just gonna make this game for us and it's our IP.
This is somebody who's
Binary
like doing
Haze,
project management or
yeah,
something.
Binary Haze actively works with it. So
Hmm.
Hiroyuki Kobayashi is a director of, even though he's the CEO of the publisher, but he's also the director for this game,
Okay, so he's
with
very
AdGlobe
active.
like developing the game. Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
extremely active. Like, it's a different kind of relationship. But I can't imagine a CEO and a director working with all these seasoned veterans and then not having some kind of like historical work.
Yeah. That would be pretty wild to just be someone out of the complete blue, right?
Yes. So it's extremely bizarre, and which makes me feel like I mean, it's not a conspiracy theory per se, but
Mhm.
I
No.
just feel like
You got your own
they're
pet
doing
theory
this.
going on though. That's cool.
Yeah, they're probably doing this on purpose. Like,
Probably.
it's for a
They're
reason that you
trying to
can't
build up
find this.
mystique, right?
Yes. And it is a mystery. So, hey, feel free to look into this. This is just what I know. But hey, if you guys find anything new, let us know. We're
All right.
curious.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I know. Octopath Traveler 2, they put out their final trailer. We can take a look at that if you want.
Let's do it.
All right.
Speaking of another game that I'm excited for.
I know.
Oh, God, looks so good.
So I've had a chance to play the demo,
Hmm.
and so has everybody because it's freely available.
Yes.
For some reason, it was really difficult to find it on the Nintendo Switch. So I ended up just
Really?
playing it on Steam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were a few standout characters that stood out to me.
Wow.
There's I know, isn't that just beautiful? Man, I think that the dancer, Oswald, he's incredible. His story is gonna be so good, dude.
The voice acting is incredible.
It really is. Oh, Throne was also great.
And the
Oh,
music's amazing. I mean, the music from the previous game was incredible. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm just waiting for it.
I know. I was playing this demo, and it was so like there was just a moment when I was playing through it, the music kicked in, and I'm like, God dang, the
It's like
music,
Goosebumps and
the game Octopath Traveler. I had forgotten how much I loved it. Like
Mhm.
legitimately, it's just been so long since I played Octopath Traveler that I was just like, oh, this is going to be interesting. I wonder if it's just going to more of the same or whatever. And it's like, nope, it sucked me right back in. And I was back 5 years younger playing this game down in my basement, back where I used to stream these games. This was such a
I swear, if they just fix that one glaring issue with the story like interconnectiveness, that's
Well,
all I ask.
so
That's
here's
all
what I've
they
heard.
need to do is just fix that one glaring issue.
So what I've heard, so what they've done already that I can verify is that they do at least introduce themselves to one another, kind of in a generic way. But they do at least. It's not just like, hey, you bump into somebody and then all of a sudden you're walking together. Like, they do at least like say hello, nice to meet
Oh,
you.
the previous game was like that. They just
It
bumped
really
into each other,
was.
like, would you like to hear my story? Do you want to
Exactly.
play through the prologue? It's like,
Exactly,
what?
exactly. So they've addressed that, but then I've also heard that some of these characters have interconnecting, like overarching stories that
Oh, please do. Please
the
do.
bad guys, like one chapter is gonna like
Yeah.
dovetail in with another person's chapter.
I mean,
I
they
hope that
did a
that's the
good
case.
they did a good job tying that together in the previous game, but by then it was like
Too
literally
late.
the very end. So it's not enough.
Mhm.
It's nice that they did it, but it's
Yeah.
just not enough. Like we
Yeah.
needed a little more connectiveness like throughout
Yeah,
to be coherent. Yeah.
and they've said that they've heard our, you know, they've said
Right.
this a few times where they're like, yeah, we heard the feedback and we're taking it into consideration, you know,
Yeah.
and the game will show that. And I think that so
Absolutely.
far it has, but we just haven't had a chance to see just how good of a job that they've done at accomplishing the goal of addressing that criticism, which is what we're talking about right now. Not necessarily, you know, I'm not skeptical. Where it just hasn't yet been. The
Terrified.
proof is in the pudding, right?
Mhm.
And I haven't
Yeah.
eaten any pudding yet. So,
we eating good though.
oh,
That's for
God,
sure.
yes. So it's coming
Yeah.
out on the 24th for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch. Steam release will be a day later on the 25th. And like I said, the demo is available on all of those supported platforms. So go check them out.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can find it on Switch because I typed in Octopath, nothing came up. I was like, okay,
Really?
yeah, Octopath.
Oh.
When I did a search for just Octopath, it brought up Octopath Traveler 1. I could pre-order Octopath Traveler 2.
Mhm.
That's it.
My Switch is upstairs, or else I would just like test it right now. The
Oh.
beauty of the Switch being a handheld is I could just look for it.
I know they may
Yeah, but
have
it's
changed
upstairs.
it. It might have just been down the day I needed it. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
could be.
that's all right. So yeah, the demo is available, and also if you do decide to play it, which you know, yeah, it's not a bad idea. If you're on the fence, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Your save
Yeah.
file will carry over into a full unlocking of the game. So keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
I'm kind of glad that like demos are coming back. Like
Oh my
demos were
God.
gone for a while, and now
Uh-huh.
demos are coming back, and I'm like,
Me too.
I kind of welcome it.
You know,
Yeah.
let me tell you, it's way easier to get demos to make videos about than it is to get advanced copies of
Oh,
review
yeah.
codes.
That's true.
It's yeah, it's not so easy.
All right. Well, moving on, we've got a quick reminder. Grim Guardians Demon Purge, which we have talked about a couple of times. That's the side-scrolling Metrovania by Inti Creates, coming out on the 23rd for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, Switch, and the PC. So if you are dying for another fast-paced, side-scrolling kind of game like Mega Man and Azure,
Mhm.
then yeah, Grim Guardians got you covered. It's that same DNA from Inti Creates. Art looks amazing. The gameplay looks really good. So yeah, check that out.
All right. So that does it for all of the games that were coming out this week. So we did get some new announcements, though, that we should
Oh yeah.
definitely talk about here. Starting with the Atelier Marie remake, because we
Mhm.
just got confirmation that
Mhm.
the launch date for the upcoming Atelier Marie remake will be during the Atelier 25th anniversary presentation, or rather, not it will be. That was when it was revealed. It was during that presentation. The
Yes.
developer said that the game will launch on the 13th of July. It
Mm.
is not yet 100% confirmed that this international release will fall on this date, since the
Mhm.
presentation was entirely in Japanese.
Mhm.
This does, though, align with the English International site's summer 2023 release window. So keep an eye out, and we'll let you know when we get more information on this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all the Atelier fans were super excited, despite the chibi graphics. I think we're all looking for a way to experience the game that started it all, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think I've heard that they're going to be adding a lot of systems in. They haven't detailed it yet, but
Oh, okay.
it's not going to be like just like the playing game,
It's
but
not just a
now it
port
looks
of a.
prettier.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're going to add some stuff in there. They said they got some surprises for the fans, so we'll see what that means. And then 25. This game is 25 years old. I mean, it's got staying power. It's you know what I mean, like it's been proved through the paces, right?
Yeah.
It's proven itself, so we got to give it due respect. This next game though is a brand new game. It actually got shown off during the IGN Fan Fest, which happened over the weekend. There were quite a few games that were on display, and this particular one at least caught my attention, that I wanted to cover. This is from developer Halbert Studios and publisher Freedom Games, which we've heard Freedom Games before. They actually published quite a few really interesting game, and I think this is no exception. This game is called 9 Years of Shadow. It is another Metroidvania game, super fast paced, really pretty looking. So in this world, color and hope has been erased in the past 9 years thanks to an ancient magic that curses the world from a place called the Talos Castle. You play as Europa and a magical bear named Apino. I think that's how you pronounce it, who will venture into the castle to put a stop to the ancient magic. The game also has guest composers Michiru Yamane from Castlevania itself, and also Norihiko Hibino from the Metal Gear Solid games,
Nice.
composing music for them, and also as guest NPCs in the game, which is kind of fun.
That's
So
fun,
yeah,
yeah.
let's take a look at that trailer so you can see why I was pretty excited about this.
All right. Yeah, let's pull that up here.
Yeah, no singing, so we should be okay with this
All
one.
right. Cool.
Yeah, so the art, look at the game art. It's like
Wow. Good.
really good Metrovania. And you get to wear different armors with different attacks and different like movement abilities.
Yeah.
So this is like the Poseidon armor. You get to like swim around as like a mermaid. This is like the Gaia armor, and you get to do different things.
That's wild.
This like just reminds yeah, there's like the different puzzle like
Oh.
solving elements depending on the armor that you wear, because you
Yeah.
have different movements, right? This is the fire armor. It looks really good. The motion's extremely fluid.
That makes me
which
look
you
like I can
need.
tell that I will
Yeah.
suck at this game if I ever tried it.
Uh,
I would die so much.
oh, me too. I think you're expected to die a lot. Doesn't that look amazing?
It does.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, check that out, guys.
we are
If
just
you
spoiled.
are.
We are spoiled by awesome pixel
Oh,
art these days.
yeah,
Man.
seriously. And this game is actually coming out relatively soon.
yeah?
March 27th is the release date,
Oh.
only on PC via Steam. Check it out, all you Metroidvania fans out there.
Yeah, that's just a month away, basically.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so also during shown off during the IGN Fan Fest is another look at the upcoming Souls-esque game Lies of P, and and a release time frame as well. So let's take a look at the trailer for Lies of P.
I'm a child, and this name would never not be funny to me.
That's all right. There we go. It's kind of a
Yeah, for anyone who's wondering, P stands for Pinocchio. It is a
Oh, that's right. That's right. I
a
forgot.
grim retelling of the Pinocchio's tale. Apparently, well, the original Pinocchio tale is pretty grim, but maybe grimmer. Yeah, there's a little bit of gameplay that I think is in here. I don't know, or not.
I wonder, is this Pinocchio Souls?
Pinocchio Souls, basically.
Disney Souls.
I forgot what kind of like art this is supposed to be. Like they said that this is a certain kind of like aesthetics. I just can't remember. It's not steam
Lovecraftian?
Ah.
It looks a little Lovecraftian. Little
I just can't remember what they said. I think this is supposed to take place in like fictional France.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think that's when Pinocchio takes place in fictional France as well.
I honestly looks pretty good.
I mean, as far as trailers go, that's some fine looking CGI.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any gameplay yet though.
Yeah, I thought I gave you the gameplay trailer. This is very strange. Did I muck up and gave you the
Yeah, maybe.
gave you the different trailer?
Maybe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
This
no
this
biggie.
one is still a pretty looking trailer. You get the point.
Yeah. So yeah, you can look forward to giving this a look a little bit later on here on the in August of this year on
Mhm.
PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, the Series XS, and PC.
Yeah, we'll probably come back and talk about this once they give us like a firm date on
And maybe
release.
once we see what the game really looks like in action.
Heck yeah. All right, next up we got a much funner at least by looks
Lighter hearted.
a lighter-hearted game. Although as soon as I tell you the story behind the game, you'll be like, okay, I thought it's supposed to be more lighthearted, but maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so XC Games and Marvelous just announced that they'll be publishing the new roguelike cooking game called by Battle Brew Productions called Cuisineer, like cuisine and like
Cuisineer?
near. Yeah,
Okay.
Cuisineer. Players will play as Palm, who received a letter from her parents requesting for her to come back home to see
Aw.
them one last time.
Oh, that's so nice.
Just like, what?
That's
Yeah,
so
wait,
nice.
what?
That's so happy go lucky. That's great.
Well, when she arrives, she finds that her parents are gone and leaving their restaurant completely abandoned. So that's a
Oh.
strange setup for a story, but let's see what happens.
All right, I guess let's see. Oh, it's
Chesses,
adorable.
Italy. Yeah. Very adorable.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's why I think this one is like
Help
more
Palm
lighthearted.
revive her family's restaurant. Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta bring the restaurant back, you know. It's
Yeah, by
low
killing
stakes.
wild boars and
Oh, I mean,
avoiding death traps,
Hey.
throwing dishes, weaponize your
Aw,
utensils.
so cute.
It is a very pretty looking game.
Mm-hmm. Kind of looks a little bit like the Zelda like with the fox character.
Hmm. And then you have to operate the restaurant. So I think this is one of those like Retineer. I forgot which game that was. What game that was called? It was like a dungeon crawler / like item store management game.
Okay.
I forgot what the game is called. But yeah, this
It's Farmville. Maybe not
this
quite.
is Farmville.
Racketeer?
Yeah.
Someone says Racketeer?
Racketeer, yes, it's like Racketeer. It's kind of like Racketeer. So you have like a dungeon element, and then you have like the town and managing your store kind of element. So
Mhm.
I think people who enjoyed Racketeer would probably appreciate a game like this. So yeah, this is coming out summer of this year on PC only via Steam.
All right. Well, in that case, let's see. What else do we have here? Assault Suits Valken Declassified.
Yes.
All right. I hope I said that all correctly. Publisher Rainmaker Productions have announced that they will be publishing an updated version of the SNES game called Assault Suits Valken Declassified. The game was censored and edited to be released internationally as Cybernator on the SNES. This version will be retranslated and uncensored, including the original 80-page Japanese guidebook, which has something like 40 pages of backstory.
Yeah, they're gonna translate all that in from the guidebook. That's an undertaking. That's that's a miniature novel right there.
Yeah. Do you want to take a look
Yeah.
at this trailer so we can
Yeah, let's
see
do
what
it.
that actually looks like? Because I don't think I ever played.
Yeah. So it is like a
Cybernator.
2D platform mecha game, which they don't really make a whole lot of these anymore, but they used to be kind of popular on the Super NES days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them are super
Vulcan
expensive now.
Declassified. Yeah. So this got released again as a different game altogether.
Cybernator.
Cybernator. Yeah. Do you know they had a front mission game that was very similar to this back then that I really liked?
Was it called Back Mission?
Well, maybe.
No, it's called Side Mission.
It's called Side Mission. Yeah, like so you know how like front mission is like a tactical RPG, right?
Yeah.
Well, they released like a side scroller robot game like this where you can run around, but you can also upgrade and change your robot like the regular front mission game.
Yeah.
So each
that's
time going to the stage, like you can change your weapons like before the stage, you can change your armor, you can change your frame, and then you go in and fight the battle. I forgot what that game is called, but I need to look that up. So yeah. This is pretty cool.
That is super cool. So yeah, you can look forward to playing Cybernator, aka Assault Suits Vulcan Declassified in spring of 2023. It's coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
So
that's coming up pretty soon. I mean, we are in spring.
is it really
Right?
already spring?
Is it spring?
I don't know.
It's practically spring. It's so warm outside right now. All right. So that concludes all the new games that's coming. Now let's get into some industry news, which we have plenty. It is like the tides, the tie in, tied out.
Yeah.
Last episode was more like all the games tying in. This time is all the industry news. So
Yes.
the first one is not quite like an industry news, but I didn't know where to put it. Just a public service announcement. Please complete your backer survey for Arn Fantasia and Penny Blood. For those of you who backed the game, they have sent out multiple surveys. I think actually this is the second survey. I got a reminder in my mailbox today. They're like, you need to fill out your backer survey. I was like, oh no, I forgot to fill out the backer survey. So just a PSA for anyone who has backed one or both of these games to complete your backer survey. Otherwise, they don't know how to send the game to you.
Oh,
I mean, I
that's
get
kind
it.
of important.
Yeah, and also you have to pay for it because
Yeah.
when you complete the survey, you have to pay for it. So
Yeah.
like go pay them. They
Good
need
idea.
money to do stuff.
Good
All right,
idea.
that's pretty much it. Yeah, I was like, is this industry news? Is this even news?
Yeah, that qualifies, I think.
Yeah.
But here's some other industry news here
Mhm.
for Falcom fans, because Falcom president wants the next Trails game to come out as soon as possible, or else people might forget the series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find the series kind of unforgettable, but in a recent interview with Japanese games news outlet Gamer, that's just, wow, they picked a good name.
Yeah.
Falcom president Toshihiro Kondo expressed that he would like to release the next game as soon as possible, stating that this year they will be focusing on Ys 10, but he wants to keep gaps of Trails releases within less than like 3 years, or else people might kind of forget the series a little bit, like the time between FC and SC of of Trails in the Sky.
Mhm.
Further, he thinks that the newest game will feature gameplay mechanics and a system similar to Kurohyō 1 and 2, but more sophisticated and with new ideas mixed in. So it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I know,
just-
like we
just-
could possibly forget about Trails.
Right. I as soon as I saw that headline, I'm like, what are you like talking about?
What did you read the original Japanese article? Was it
I
sensationalized or was it?
I did. That's what I was gonna say. So I found that originally from Noisy Pixel, they had their translation, and they had done their due diligence and checking with multiple translators. So shout out to Noisy Pixels again. Of
Nice.
course, they're great. They're great people. But I've also done my personal due diligence. Go to the link, go read it, and I'll link you guys the Gamer article later. But basically, what he has said is this. He wants to make sure that the gaps would be something like less than 3 years. Otherwise, people would forget the series like that time with Sky SC. It's like basically verbatim is what he said. And so he's basically implying that, back then with Trails SC, people kind of forgot about Trails like series as a thing in general. Like they only released FC, they haven't released SC yet. It took too long to release SC, and by the time they released SC, people kind of forgot about FC, right? But I mean, obviously, and you and I are thinking the same thing, and I'm sure chat's thinking the same thing. We're in a very different world than when FC came out. Like internet's a thing with so many games in know.
A way, no, because let me tell you, as somebody who feels like I'm constantly just trying my hardest by trying my hardest not to lose relevance, trying hard not to lose attention span. Like luckily, Trails at this point is like a cultural cornerstone for JRPG fans.
Right.
So it's not likely to happen, but relevance it's not always just about the release of quality. I wish it was. But, but a lot of times, especially here on YouTube, you need both quality and quantity. And the quantity is what keeps people from forgetting that you exist. And like the quality is what keeps them coming back. So it's such a balancing act. So I can totally understand his own internal struggle to say we need to make sure that it's like we get consistent releases.
Right.
Yeah,
well, plus the other thing is, if you remember one of the interview from some time ago, he says that he's probably not going to spend too much resources, if any, doing remakes because he wants to focus his resources on completing the Trails series before his staff retires.
There's that
right?
too.
And there's a lot more story planned. So, they're on a tight schedule as it is. So it kind of corroborates with like him wanting to release one like within a 3-year gap. If nothing else, there's the whole relevancy thing, but also to finish the entire series in like a reasonable time. And who knows how many more games is like left that they have like on the planning, book. Like I'm sure they've written out 3 more.
3.
You think so?
No, I have no idea.
Oh,
just confidently, no idea.
Yeah, but it's interesting stuff. Did you want to talk about the gameplay systems?
Of Kudo?
So okay, well, so another thing that he touched on briefly is that they asked him about the newest game and what kind of like things people can expect. So there he said that the newest game to come out, whenever it comes out, will have very similar gameplay mechanics and system as Kudo 1 and 2.
Yeah, so I mentioned that, but I also I said that, but I have no idea. I've never looked at a trailer for Kudo 1 or 2.
Have you not?
No. So I have no idea what he's talking about. So I don't know. No thoughts on it.
Yeah. I don't know how I missed that from you, but
I just have a way of saying a lot of information very quickly, I guess.
If Mr. Inval is here, he would tell you that I have a way to just like zone out.
Baku only hears what he wants to hear.
Basically. That's how I got my raises. I'm sorry, what? You were saying that I didn't too well here? Oh, I heard what the good stuff. So are you going to pay me more now?
Nicely done.
All right. Well, the hopefully Final Fantasy is not hearing Final Fantasy 14 is not hearing the only things that they want to hear, because there are some things that they probably don't feel like hearing, but it's being said anyways.
Oh.
And this concerns the far northern Attire. Is it infringing on cultural IP? It's a
What?
weird thing to ask about. So the Sámi console, and I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing this because it's Nordic, and they're like some of the hardest languages to pronounce. It is a non-governmental organization of the Nordic Sámi people. So this console is urging Square Enix to remove their new cosmetic DLC called the Far Northern Attire in Final Fantasy 14.
Okay.
The console's president, Aslot Holmberg, again, definitely butchering the name, but here we are, states that it is not about sensitivity, nor is it whether or not the depictions of the Sámi culture is being appropriated, which you would imagine that's what their complaints is about.
Okay.
But rather, it is because the elements of the outfit are the property of the Sámi culture, and therefore FF14 is infringing on their intellectual properties. Now, the reason why I thought this was interesting is because this is an interesting angle from a group of, from like a cultural group, to claim that any kind of like company is infringing on their culture on the basis of intellectual property, and not like, oh, you're appropriating our culture, which there's no legal basis, right? But as soon as you talk about intellectual properties, it sounds like they want to make it a legal case, which is a very different take. And their ramification. Yeah,
I'm sorry, this might sound insensitive, but that's stupid.
it is. It absolutely is. And I don't. Okay, so just to clarify,
Okay.
I don't. And I'm not a lawyer, but from
You're
what
not?
I know
Oh, no.
about. Oh no, I'm not a lawyer, so I can say whatever I want, and it's not against my professional whatever, because I'm not a lawyer. But from what I do know about intellectual properties, they don't really have a standing, but they're trying to make it a case about intellectual property, which is interesting. And I don't know if that's necessarily the first time that a group has done that, but at least within recent memories, I do not recall a group trying to claim that a cultural, some kind of cultural heritage is intellectual property that can be infringed
That's so
on.
weird.
So it's interesting. It's interesting what kind of defense, or what kind of not defense, what kind of legal case they're trying to make out of this. And what they will do moving forward if Final Fantasy or really Yoshi P does not comply. And I don't think he would. It would be interesting to see what they do, if anything at all. And it would be interesting to see if other indigenous or cultural group will decide to, poll something similar against a different company. So could be a start of a trend, could be nothing at all, but just some things that's happening in this world that I find interesting to talk about.
That is so weird. That
Right?
is so weird.
It's very bizarre. Yeah, I really don't think they have a legal case. It's not like it's not like Final Fantasy's in trouble somehow. They're
Sure.
not losing money anytime soon, but it's
Sure. It just like I would feel more, I guess, what's the word? I would feel more sympathetic to it if they weren't trying to tack on some weird legalese to it by saying this is our intellectual property. Like,
I mean, for starter, the group
Okay.
would have to actually represent a certain group of people and
Right.
have their consent.
not
That's
just a certain
one
group,
hurdle.
but the entire group. Like,
Yeah,
it would have
that's
to
just
somehow
one hurdle.
which
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many people are in the Sámi culture. I guess
4 million. I think they
4
said
million.
something like 4 million people. Yeah,
So it would have to represent 4 million people.
individuals. Yeah, I mean they can
And
do like a class action thing, but you
I-
know,
yeah, I
yeah,
guess so.
but that's only the first hurdle.
That's the
And
first
then,
hurdle.
yeah, the second hurdle is of course cultural heritage as an intellectual property. Like,
Yeah.
can that be a thing? And so far we have never seen a case, at least that I know of, where anyone has successfully sued people on a cultural heritage standing. And if anything, um, I think cultural heritage cannot be trademarked or as
That's
like,
another thing. Like you have
yeah,
to, in order to have a trademark or to have intellectual property, you have to
yeah,
have, I guess, do they have documentation that they established this? Do they have
yeah. I don't think you
documentation?
can.
Have they enforced their copyright earlier? Have they been protecting it all of these years? Have they been, because if you don't protect your intellectual property rights, you lose them. So
Yeah,
this is weird. This is
yeah.
really weird.
I don't think any one person or group can like own like cultural heritage. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the strangest thing. Yeah,
yeah.
it's uh, okay.
You
Well,
can
I mean,
you can own
it's a nothing burger.
objects.
It's.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is just a big nothing burger because
Oh, yeah.
it doesn't matter
Yeah.
at all, really, to anybody. It is like the lowest thing down that I care about right now. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm just mentally trying to fit this square peg through the round hole of my brain, and it it reminds me a little bit of the stand-up comedy act with Lewis Black, who was talking about
Mhm.
this thing that he heard one time, and it just stuck in his head forever. And it was, if it wasn't for that horse, I wouldn't have spent that year in college. And he's like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. What? That's exactly what this feels like. Is just something does not
Yeah.
compute, and it's breaking my brain. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Before I have an
Yeah,
aneurysm.
and just to be clear for everyone, we don't think that this is going to grow into something big. It is
No.
just an interesting thing that's happening in this world.
This will
That's
probably
why we
be the
covered it.
last thing I ever hear about this.
Let's hope so, because I would hate for this to become a trend.
I would hate for I hate the fact that I've never heard of the Sámi people, but this has already given me a negative impression of them so far.
Well, yeah, and just to be clear, it's just this council that
I know.
clearly
Yeah.
wants to represent a group of people, but don't necessarily do
Like
so.
this is the first
yeah.
I've heard of them, and I'm like, oh my god, are they all on board? They can't all be on board with this. This is
I
4
doubt
million
it.
people. They can't all.
Yeah.
This cannot be like an act of solidarity between 4 million people. I can barely get 4 people to agree to where we're going to dinner. So
Right?
okay, moving
Yes.
on. Let's just get past
Put this behind us.
Yeah. All right. Legend of Dragoon, Wild Arms 2, and also another one, Harvest Moon, are coming to PlayStation Plus Premium. Pretty exciting stuff here. Legend of Dragoon and Wild Arms 2 are joining PlayStation Plus Premium catalog tomorrow. That's the 21st.
Yes.
These two games, plus, because I didn't talk about it before, and neither did Baku include it here, but there's also a Harvest Moon game for PlayStation that's also making its way, and you can enjoy the save and rewind functions. And I've got a video where I was talking about that. I was actually talking about David Vink because he put out a video talking about it, and he said that Legend of Dragoon sucks, and I felt the need to defend that game's honor and drag Wild Arms 2 through the mud a little bit. All in good fun though. So if you want to see his video, be sure to check it out. It's got the thumbnail says "Don't be fooled," and mine says "Do be fooled." So yeah, that's how you know what they are. But yeah, the point is, both games are pretty fun. Not S tier, but good, with some flaws. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah. And just a self plug. I'm going to be releasing a reaction to Derek's reaction to David Fink's reaction video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
We've got to go deeper.
And it will be titled "Don't Be Fooled by the Fool." I'm kidding. I'm definitely not in this, but hey, it would be fun if someone of you want to react to Derek's video and make a reaction train.
We should totally bring back video responses. You remember back in the day of YouTube,
God.
that used to be.
They still do it.
That was
You
an
can still
entire
do
genre
it.
once upon a time, though, because it used to display right
true,
below the
yeah.
video. YouTube reaction girls were such a thing. Do you remember that? Like
Yes,
anytime you watched
yes.
any video that got moderately popular, like there'd just be
Mhm.
like this one person who's just like, I put out a video talking about this video, and I don't have really anything interesting to say about it, but I'm responding to it.
Oh, you know what? Reaction. Someone
Yeah.
tried to, like, who were the idiots who tried to trademark reaction or
React
something or
Bros.
another? Oh yeah, and they got so much flack.
Yes.
It's like,
It's like
what
you
a
can't
way
trademark
to
react. What are you going to try to do next? Trademark a culture?
Oh geez, what a way to fall from grace. What a way to fall from grace. Like people liked them and
Oh,
then they became kind of irrelevant and then they're like,
I
"Oh,
don't
let's
know.
do this
They're
little
probably still
stunt."
making way too much money. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Some people only
seriously.
fail upwards.
Boy, I wish I can be in that trajectory, right?
Hmm.
All right. Well, speaking of failures, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, what?
So the art,
It's a
yeah.
failure? Oh my god.
What?
What?
So yeah, so the art book from the collector's edition for the upcoming Zelda game
Uh-huh.
has purportedly
Yeah.
I typed that purportedly been leaked. And the leaked art book showed a variety of images, sketches, concept arts of the game, which got fans pretty excited. But
Oh.
also, what? The art book just like leaked? How? No one knows. And I was streaming yesterday and someone came in and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was looking at this leaked art book." And I'm like, "Are you talking about like Zelda?" And they're like, "Yeah. So I'm like, "Okay, so someone has actually seen these and you could probably find it." Now, not that we encourage leaking things,
Hmm.
obviously, because that's theft.
Right.
But also, I don't feel too bad for Nintendo because they've made this collector's edition like god impossible to get your hands on.
That's true.
So I'm just like, I don't know if I necessarily feel too bad for Nintendo. I mean, it's still wrong,
Hmm.
but you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
whatever, Nintendo. Like you're not even letting us getting it legally.
Yeah.
So like, what do you want us to do?
Uh,
Like, yeah.
yeah. I guess that's interesting. So yeah, if you want, you could just take it to like a copy center or something and just print out your own art book.
Print your own book. They're only leaks, but you can get like a few pages. I'm sure. I have no idea to what extent the leak is. Like
It's a
how many
full PDF. I have
pages?
no idea. I'm just
Is
making it up.
yeah,
But
right?
that'd be pretty funny if it was. I mean, if it's
Yeah,
a digital file, it may as well be the whole thing, though, right? You never know.
yeah. But just to be clear, here in HitPoint, we are law-abiding citizens who do not condone in theft. But
Uh,
also Nintendo, it's just hard to feel bad for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, also we've got this news about Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana because the official novel has been announced for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you an Ys fan? Are you an avid reader? I hope so, because then this news will be exciting to you.
Yes.
So, this official novel is written by Anna Kashina and going to be published by Dragonwell Publishing with a paperback and digital launches planned. The
Ooh.
official synopsis is when Adol Kristen boards the sea liner Lombardia for what he expects to be an easy voyage across the uh,
Gate?
gate, ga, the gate sea. I
Yes.
have no idea how that's pronounced. It's Gaete. I have no idea how you say that. Anyways, he has
I
no
think
idea
Gate.
his
Yeah.
journey will
Mhm.
end in catastrophe. Shipwrecked on a mysterious Siren island, along with the handful of other Lombardia survivors, he must face the ancient curse that has haunted Siren for millennia and find a way to defeat it.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, sounds like the game.
Sounds like the game. So if you
Kinda.
don't want to play the game, but you like reading instead, some
Who
of
is this
you.
for? Like,
A Yeast fan who just doesn't want to play games anymore.
and well, I was gonna say somebody I don't. Okay, so surely the draw of this is that it's going to expand upon the dialogue, I guess, or the
I hope.
backstories of characters.
I hope
Maybe
so. Yeah.
that would be the only reason I could think of that you would not just play the game again.
Well, you know who this could be for? Someone who needs to find a book to read for a book report
Okay.
and don't want to read like an actual like boring like American classic.
Mhm.
It's like I want to read something else. Like you can read something else. Well, here it is. Here's the East 8. There are it tricked the teacher that there are 7
Just
previous novels. This
just
is such
watch
a
just watch someone
great.
just watch this. Someone fed ChatGPT a synopsis of the events. And it's just like, give me a novel
Yeah,
based
tell
on
me a
this.
story.
Tell me a story based on the synopsis of East 8 and just set it on print.
Well played, Anna Kashina. Well played. Yeah,
Airquote.
Anna
No,
Kashina.
I don't know.
No, yeah, but no, like those, yeah, but to be sure, I think it's cool. Obviously, it is just more ways to enjoy a good story,
Mhm.
more mediums, and not the worst thing that Falcom has ever released.
No.
So yeah, we'll leave the link to the publishers page in the description down below.
Alrighty.
Yes. Next up, some good news. NieR
Oh.
Automata Anime returns with episode 4 this week. So we did previously report that the airing of NieR Automata the anime version like 1.01 alpha or something. I can never remember the
Yeah.
actual name.
It's crazy.
It will be delayed like indefinitely, right? Because of the pandemic. Well, good news, they're back. That was quick. I was expecting them to be gone for like 6 months, but no, they're already back. And that the anime will resume airing on Crunchyroll from episode 4 and on, and there is no at least foreseeable reasons that they'll delay again. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
so I'm really looking forward to it because, and I know that some people have said like, it hasn't been great so far. But the thing about this series, as a fan, anyways, is that they've stated very firmly that this story will deviate from the game. That they're not trying to have you like just basically watch the
Mhm.
game, right, in
Yeah.
anime form, kind of like the book just now, where it's like, well, why don't you just play the game? Hopefully, the book has something different. They never said it, but for the anime, for NieR Automata, they have stated openly and definitively that there will be things that's different. Please look out for them, and it will be enjoyable for fans and also people who have never touched the game alike, which is good because
Yeah.
a lot of times you have these derivative works that,
That expect you to have already played them.
yeah, and then like
Like
you watch
the new Dragon Quest, well, not new anymore, but the movie Your Story.
or Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children. You're like, what
Oh
is
my
going
god.
on? Yeah, oh, if you've never played a game, you're like, oh, I'm so lost. It looks really pretty. I'm
Yeah.
so lost. Who's
I
this
can
Cloud?
confirm because I
What?
hadn't
Who's
because
Tifa?
when I watched it, I had
Yeah.
barely played Final Fantasy VII before.
Oh yeah. So you had
And
like no idea what's going
I
on.
mean, I knew all of the spoilers because of
Mhm.
the internet, but
That's fair.
yeah.
Like,
I
who are
still
these
have no idea what's
people?
going on. I'm
What's
pretty sure
Geostigma? Who's
I could watch it
Sephiroth?
right now and still have no idea what's going on.
I think the craziest thing would be just Sephiroth popping up towards the end. It's like, who's this guy? Why is he so awesome? But where's like he just comes out of nowhere?
Why
Like
does he
what?
sound like Lance Bass?
Unless you watch the Japanese version. Um, all right, yeah. So pretty cool stuff. And speaking of NieR Automata, Derek,
Oh,
what do we got for merch?
Oh, well,
Let's talk about some merch stuff.
Sure. I'll talk
Yeah.
about NieR Automata merch because
Merch.
yeah, if you've ever wanted a life-size 2B from NieR Automata, and you know you have, you're in luck. Design Coco is developing a 1-to-1 scale figure and statue of 2B, and you will be able to pre-order it from AmiAmi. Shipping will probably cost a fortune, but if you're someone who would seriously consider a life-size 2B, this is probably not really much of a problem for you. So this is the only in the planning phases at this point, but we'll be sure to cover this again when the pre-order opens up.
Man, the figure industry is going crazy, man. It
A
used to be like
1-to-1 scale replica of 2B.
yeah. I mean, it used to be these like live scale figures would be either only for events and maybe like this for display purposes, or it would be like far and few between. Like lately, they've been releasing more of these, which I'm just curious. Like, who is affording these things? Who's buying all these? Because clearly someone's buying them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be making it. Like,
I was
there's a
gonna say,
market for this.
It's not the middle class, I can tell you that.
Yeah, top 1% who happens to be a fan of like the NieR series, I'm sure.
Yeah.
1-to-1 scale, I'm guessing, this is just a guess, but it's probably going to be in the neighborhood of a car, a brand new car, and not a bad car either. I'm talking about like maybe 30,000 US dollars.
Do you think it'll be what do you think? Will it cost more or less than the Final Fantasy Terra statue? Yeah.
Oh, more, definitely more.
More.
Oh, way more.
Because
So the Final Fantasy,
how much was that one again? Was that 12,000?
12K.
12,000? Okay.
Yeah, and then like 14,000 with shipping.
Man, you know,
Yeah.
you could probably just save yourself some time, get yourself a real girl and just dress her up like it.
I'll give you 30,000 if you just
Just wait.
the cosplay would be like, I don't know, $500.
Just order a custom doll, you know, and some cosplay gear. Save yourself $20,000-$30,000 or something.
Remember that MasterCard commercial from way back? It was like popcorn, $5, movie tickets, $10. You know, like having a great time with your kids, priceless. Yeah, it'll be something
There's some
like this.
things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
There's MasterCard. Yep. They should make a commercial with this TV. Costume, $500. Hiring an escort, $1,000.
Well,
getting a life-size TV for less than $30,000. Priceless. But yeah, cool stuff. Interesting, and we'll see what it actually looks like. I'm very curious. Like, is it good quality? Is it just like crap? Like, I'm so curious as to what they were doing to do.
For God, I mean, whatever it's going to cost, it's going to be too much. So it better be really good,
right? I don't think anyone here who's watching the show would actually care about it. To be fair, but it's just interesting. But here's something that you might actually consider, and I was talking to Derek a little bit about this. The largest Pokemon plushie ever.
Ooh,
coming in at 6 feet 9 inches.
Wait.
1.45 meters. And weighing in at 14 pounds, which is about 6.5 kilo. The largest Pokemon plush will be a Wailord plushie. And it is now available for pre-order in the Pokemon Center store. Which, if you
quick point of clarification, it's 4 feet 9 inches.
Oh yes, 4 feet 9 inches.
Not 6'9", 4'9". Okay.
Oh, 4'9". Yes, 4 feet 9 inches.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go to my screen real quick, we can show you what that looks like.
Okay, let's pull that up here.
Bump
screen.
Look at that. That's a huge plushie for $420, which now that we've talked about like a $30,000 figures, all of a sudden this seems affordable.
That's downright reasonable.
Why? That's
How
practically
can I afford not to buy
that?
How can I afford not to? Yep.
Okay, so I think if people don't look at this like as a plushie and an actual like furniture piece for their house, because it's sizable. It's 4 feet long. It weighs 14 pounds. It's sizable. And if you're a huge Pokemon fan, like I can actually see people getting this as like part of their like what is it called? Like living room decor. People spend more for worse things like a vase or something. But hey,
there's no accounting
to each their own
taste, I guess.
Yeah. But anyhow, if you are a huge Pokemon fan and it's got a huge and also got a huge wallet, again, this is pre-order available in the Poke Center up until March, and it will be delivered to you in November.
My God, that's almost as much as a PlayStation 5, man. Just saying.
It sure is, and it's stuff filled with cotton.
But if you were gonna spend $500 on a stuffed animal, well, that probably isn't really much of a consideration for you anyway.
Yeah, you just get like 5. What a steal.
Yeah, just why have a heater when you can just light your money on fire instead and heat up your whole house that way?
I'm sure some people do that. Oh, wait, no, hold on. That reminds me of was it Al Capone who did that?
I don't know, maybe.
No, someone had an Italian gangster was was it Italian gangster? No, it wasn't. It's not Al Capone. It's the guy from Mexico. What's his name? El Chapo.
Oh yeah.
It was him. Like there was one time when they were cold or something, and he literally just lit money on fire for his daughter to keep her warm or something. Like just like whatever. Like they literally did that. Oh my god, I need to go back and go read that story again now. You just reminded me.
Okay.
That literally was the thing that has happened before.
Well, that does bring us to the fan and community project section of our stream before we wind down. So what do we got here, man?
Well, this is the last piece of news, and it has to do with the fan group Team K4L. They've just announced their translation patch for Kurohyō, Ryuga Gotoku Shinshō. So if you don't know all those things I just said, it's basically Like a Dragon Black Panther. It is a 2010 Yakuza spin-off game on the PSP. And they're going to release the translation patch this August. They even released a trailer for it, which is interesting.
Okay.
They could translation group will release a trailer, but here we are.
I mean, hey, Geofront did it, so.
Oh, did they really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Here, let's go ahead and pull this up.
Team K4L presents a localization project with the S.
Oh.
They're not from the States.
Oh, clearly.
So this is one of those like Yakuza games that never made it to the West, basically. That people are like, oh boy, if you would remake this, would be awesome. A fully translated main story. Heck yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, this is called the Black Panther. Like this, basically the main character's nickname is the Black Panther. And
so it's not a Marvel movie tie-in.
No, not a Marvel movie tie. Unfortunately, I would love to see Wakanda in Yakuza world.
Okay.
But yeah, so apparently this story happens in the same time frame as Kiryu's story.
Okay.
Yeah, same world, same time frame.
Oh, that's pretty impressive for a PSP.
Yeah. That music. Yakuza Forever.
Yeah, that's a bop. That's some good music.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good. The translation looks really clean. They did a really good job. Well, from what we see, anyways.
Yeah.
I think Black Panther is like an underground fighter. Like I think that's his like backstory.
That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
August 15th.
Alrighty.
It's a bobber.
That's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, man. Hey, keep doing those great works out there. Localization and fan translation teams. Like I think they're like the unsung heroes. Like at best, they give us really good translations that we can use, like Geofront. And even if things go sour sometimes, they at least like trigger the companies to release their own official localizations at worst. So either ways, they're doing us a service. So I respect that, and it's out of their free time. They don't get paid, of course.
Yeah. Well, super cool of them to put that out. Well, thank you guys. All right, so that brings us to towards the end of the stream anyway. We have a couple of super chats to respond to. First one comes from Scott Pilgrim, who just threw out a sticker there with some heart eyes on it. Thank you so much, Scott. Very much.
Thank you, Scott.
And then we've got another one here from Kansad, who says, "What's up, fellas? What's a game that gave you an adrenaline rush like no other?
Adrenaline rush.
I know.
Adrenaline rush.
It's pretty easy for me to remember a game that got me incredibly hyped because it actually just happened to me a couple of streams ago during Cold Steel 2. And I don't know if I would say it gave me an adrenaline rush because I don't think I actually had, the adrenaline pumping, but I was squeeing like a little girl during a certain completely amped up scene. I'll say that there was this fight that took place between, let's say, a radiant blade master and a guy who was, let's just say he was totally lit. Okay. And that's as far as I'll give you about any sort of spoilers, but anybody who's played the games probably knows who I'm talking about. And it was
Just,
it was
super hyped. Oh my god.
Yeah. Like it was like, I was 12 again watching, Goku go Super Saiyan for the first time. It was like, whoa.
Man, okay, now you got me needing to go to Cold Steel, which
You
I'm
do.
like 4 games away from you.
It was ridiculous, man. I could not believe what I was seeing unfold before my eyes. So yeah.
Yeah. For me, I can think of 2 examples. One is further back. It was East 3 Felgana Last Boss. Got me going. It was just really hard. I went in blind. I have no idea what I'm doing. I was dying repeatedly. But it's not like a Souls game, right? Because Souls game is fast, but it's also like pretty slow, right? Like
it's not like a bullet hell.
ease.
It's slow and methodic, and it's it's almost like
You
a
have to be
dance.
patient. Yeah. Ease is different. Ease is more like a Mega Man game, but like
It's
faster.
like a bullet hell.
Yeah, and 3D. So it's not even like you have to jump on platforms. And like that boss gave me such a hard time. I remember. But I finally got him down without using this one item that basically lets you regenerate all your health, right?
Yeah.
So I felt really good. Because I got him without using that item. I'm just like, yo, who's your daddy? I had like a who's your daddy moment, like I just dropped my controller. Who's your daddy? It's totally own that boss.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Who's your daddy? The other case I remember is Resident Evil 3, the remake. When I had to run away from Nemesis, like the way, people didn't like Resident Evil 3. I know why they don't like it. But I also can understand why the directors did what they did, because the way that Resident Evil 3 is structured is not the same as Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is more like a traditional Resident Evil. You run around, solve puzzles, and fight zombies, survive. Resident Evil 3 plays more like a action movie.
Yeah.
One segment, and then boom, Nemesis chasing you down and you running away. And it's just the entire playthrough was just like an adrenaline rush, right? Like, because Nemesis is always right around the corner. You never know which corner he's gonna pop up and chase the living heck out of you. So yeah, that was crazy. So I think that would do it for me.
Oh, that's fun. That's a really fun question. Thanks for asking about that there.
Thank you.
Oh man. All right. Well, I do believe that ties up the super chats for the evening. So, Baku, thanks for joining me today. It's been good to have HitPoint with you on this fine Monday evening. If any of you out there enjoyed today's episode, be sure to drop us a like or a review on whatever podcasting platform you might be listening to us on, whether that be through iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other multitude of platforms you can find us on. I would very much appreciate that. So until our next episode of HitPoint, take care, everybody, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And there we go.
Goodbye.